Why are you working with yourself? I tell you, don't tell anybody. This is a secret. Not many people know. Nimai is Krishna. Sanjay was holding his stomach and he started laughing. And then Mukunda, he was holding his back and he was like, they were both laughing. And this guy stopped there, he took 2 stones and started throwing on the, well, stop this, you young kids, you have no respect for elderly people. Mukunda Swami said, but you are telling some secret which is not known to anybody, we knew it long ago. Nimai Krishna. So then the Pandit said, but that you know, but there is another thing you do not know. Then they looked at it and said, what is this now? So then Swami said, other thing is what? Other thing is that you are going to get Nimai married. This also we know. Then the other one said, you are trying to get him married to Sanatana Mishra's daughter. This also we know. Then Pandit said, I better resign my job. Everybody knows everything. So what is the use of me being here as a Pandit? So then Mukunda said, no. Anyway, tell us the problem. The problem is, Vishnupriya is Lakshmi and Nimai is Krishna. And this Sanchika, this stupid Sanchika, for 40 years has no auspicious time fit for this couple. What can I do? So then Mukunda said, my dear Panditji, do you know there is Krishna? Yes. You know he says Lakshmi? Yes. So why are you looking for auspicious time? So he said, that is true. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Lakshmi, that is the most auspicious time. I am so stupid. Then Mukunda said, do you know that? That is why I am telling you, just get up and go and do some job. So then immediately he ran up to go to tell Satyamata that this is the day. We are fixing this just simply because we need some time to make the decoration. And on the way he met Buddhimanta Khan, very rich disciple of Nimai from the school. So he saw Panditji running towards Satyamata's house. He came in there and said, Panditji, just one moment. Tell me, when is it? When is what? Well, you are running to Satya's house, which means Nimai is getting married. You tell me when is it? Because I want to make it a big success. I will spend so much money that even the king could have never seen a marriage like that. You please tell me when is it? Then the Pandit said, after this marriage, I am not going to arrange marriage for anybody. This is the last one. Then he said, this is the day. And Buddhimanta Khan was going that way, and Mukunda came this way. They all embraced each other and jumping up and down. And then Buddhimanta Khan said, I will spend all my property. I will spend all the wealth. I will make it so success that gold, he will look like Narayan. And Vishnupriya will be Lakshmi. And they are actually. So then Mukunda said, please Buddhimanta Khan, you are so rich, you know, you can buy this whole village. And you can spend so much that you can make Narayan look like Narayan. This is a great thing. But please also, let us share the expenses. All the students, we will share the expenses. And make a big marriage. Then all the young boys started running here and there, and a big canopy was brought. In the middle of this big plain land, surrounded by trees. And they raised it as high as 5 tall trees, 5 palm trees. That is the canopy. They fully decorated it with mango leaves and betel nuts hanging in bunches, and they had yellow rice all over the floor. They had a big altar built for the groom and the bride, and they had a nice yajna-sala in front of it, and they went around getting flower garlands and shiny leaves and whatnot. The whole place looked like Vaikuntha. Then the day came. So, Buddhimanta Khan brought a palanquin which was decorated with diamonds, and they got Nimai inside there. And then with all the music instruments and people dancing, they went to Ganga. And in Ganga, Nimai paid his respects to Mother Gandhi, took some water, got into the palanquin, again with all fun and joy, they were walking, and Nimai was inside the palanquin, and they arrived exactly at the time when the cows are coming back. And from their hooves, the dust She is coming up flying like this, and the sun is just setting. At that time, Gauranga arrived in Sanatana Mishra's house. And then Sanatana Mishra had a big stage arrangement there. There were 18 musicians sitting there singing vocal. And there were so many accompaniments. And cooking was going on one side for the past week. And thousands and thousands of people were fed. And whole night there was dancing and singing and music and harikatha. People were discussing the pastimes of Krishna. And next day morning was in the Urte. So, Vishnupriya was brought. He went 7 times around her would-be husband, which means for 7 lifetimes she wants to have the same husband. And then she touched his feet and she offered a garland. And in the Lord, very pleasingly smiled and accepted her as his wife. And they both sat down together. And then Sita Ramanujacharya was there performing the marriage ceremony, because Lakshmi and Narayana are getting married. So somebody from the Lakshmi line must be there pouring the ghee in the fire. So he was there. He was a Vishnu Bhakta in that village at that time, so he performed the marriage. After this marriage ceremony, Vishnupriya and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the next day early morning, holding their hands, they were walking to Mother Sakhi's house on the bank of Ganga. So many villagers are there, some ladies washing clothes, somebody is taking bath, somebody is baking the baby, and they were looking. And they were looking like this, and they were so stunned. And some of the sisters, they jumped from Ganga, they jumped up, they looked at gold and Vishnupriya, and they forgot to go into the water. So they were in the same spot looking like this. They were drying. And they were going to die, but still they couldn't go inside the water. They were looking like this. Who is this? Some people said, this is Shiva and Parvati. Some others said, no, it's not Shiva and Parvati. This is Lakshmi and Narayana. Somebody said, Lakshmi Narayana. Forget. This is not Lakshmi Narayana. This is Kamadev and Rati. And then they had big arguments. They were fighting with each other. No, this is Shiva Parvati. No, this is. In this way, Gauranga came back to his house. Very nice. Sounds very good. Wonderful. Then, very soon, Gauranga decided to go to Gaya. Lakshmi and Narayana, they are married. And they are walking, him going to the marriage, coming back, walking from the marriage. This is something even the Sapta Rishis cannot see. They are saying to Lakshmi Narayana, please give us one glimpse of you walking from the bride's house, from Lakshmi's house, to the house of Narayana. Let us have one glimpse of it. But everybody in our group, including the fish, they have this destiny. And in Chaitanya Mangal, Lotandas Thakur says, this is why Sri Chaitanya is Dinanath. He is the protector of destitute. Even a fish, not only fish, those people who are eating fish, they have to die. Luckily they didn't see the fish. Otherwise, they were eating the fish. So, this is the last joke. Now we are entering into tragedy. So, Gaya. Mahaprabhu went to Gaya, then uske saath saath chala gaya. So when he came back, when he didn't even tell anybody. So Vishnupriya was so much in anxiety, and Mother said she didn't know what happened, where did he go. But finally when he came back, everybody was in great ecstasy. But the friends of Vinay, they told Mother Sakhi certain things in confidence. They said, Thakurani, your son is not like before. What does he do? Sometimes he cries and sometimes he laughs. Sometimes he jumps, sometimes he is unconscious. Sometimes he is sweating, even though it is so cool in the night. And sometimes he feels so cold, so it is so hot, the sun is scorching. Sometimes he rolls on the floor, and he takes stand, and he eats. And he does all this. We don't know what happened. We met some sadhus in Gaya, as you know. but we don't know exactly what. Please keep him under control. Alright, so Satimata was thinking, I have the control. So he went inside. He said, Vishnupriya, come here. And she sat down for 3 hours, she decorated him. And then she brought her like this, holding her little finger. Because she had put some colors on the hand, so it maybe rubber, so she was holding the little finger. And so many ornaments she had put on, and so many silk decorative cloths she had put on. And she looked just like Lakshmi just descending from Vaikuntha. And there was that Nimai, he was sitting like this. And he was thinking of these atheistic people who were speaking these 6 philosophies and who were trying to throw some sand in the street rice of absolute truth. And he was getting so angry, he started biting his teeth. Like this. And Satimata, see, they told me, they said something has happened to my son. Now I will control him. So she brings Vishnupriya, she puts her in front of Nimai. And they say, Nimai, Vishnupriya. And then she just got better. So Nimai was biting his teeth like this. Vishnupriya touched his feet and she was looking at his face. And she was thinking, what happened to my husband? Why is he so angry? Did I do anything wrong? And suddenly he got up and he saw us sit there. He took it. He said, I will destroy them. I will kill them all. He started beating Vishnupriya. There's no sense to do this way. And a big tree was hanging here and was flying that way, and all the people are going this way, and all of them are all smoking on it, and he is holding this crying. And then Satimata is outside, and he heard the sound of destroy, kill, and Vishnupriya screaming, and she quickly went inside and took the girl and embraced her and brought her inside. And then they were both inside looking through the window. And Mahaprabhu was having a stick. He was sitting on the roof, he was sitting in the trees, he was sitting on the floor. He was stuck and he said, I will finish them, I will kill them. And then he said, oh Ma, what is this? He said, he just came back from the president very tired. God says it otherwise. He will be all right. He is very intelligent man. He is not going to get haunted by God. No, never. He always watches his feet. This is not God. Who says it is God? Don't say these things. I can't. What is that? And then this is the court. What a nice day. So then slowly, Mahaprabhu, after some time, he just threw the stick. And then he said, Ma, I want some water. So then Satimata came and gave him some water. Then he looked at her and she was looking at him like Mahaprabhu started smiling. And then he said, I'm very sorry, I was deeply thinking something. Did I do anything wrong? He said, no, what is wrong in beating a wife? He said, what? What did I do? No, you were beating Vishnupriya, you see, these are all the ornaments. The poor girl is crying. He said, oh, I'm very sorry. So she said, why are you telling me? Go tell her. Then Mahaprabhu went there and he was looking inside and she was covering her face and she was sitting like this. Then he went to her and said, I went all the way to Gaya and all this land I traveled by walk. I have not seen one woman as chaste and as beautiful and as attractive as you are. So then she said, I am simply thinking of that only. What are you thinking of? I am thinking that the Supreme Lord, why He has made me so fortunate. Then he said, is it very fortunate to be beaten by the husband who is inside? So she said, no, you were so absorbed and you are such a saintly person. If you are killing somebody, those people don't deserve to live. And if they were there, you would have killed them. But good that I was there. I got the deal. So I saved them. So then Mahaprabhu said, you are lucky. You will always think like this only. But I know you are not very happy with me. He said, no. I am very happy with you. Otherwise, I won't be talking with you like this. I will be sitting and crying. Then he said, but I beg you. Then she said, what? I am wife, you are husband, you can beat me, even now you can beat me, have a stick and you beat me. And then Nimai said, no, I feel very bad for what I did. I will never do this again. You ask anybody, I am a very good boy. You ask anybody. I am a very good boy. I never did anything wrong. You ask my mother, you ask my uncle, you ask anyone, but don't ask anybody in the village. So then Mr. Peter was sitting there and thinking, what a wonderful husband I have. So then, days are rolling by like this, and here and there Mahaprabhu is going, and Shiva's house, and he is doing kirtan whole night, and whole night Mr. Peter is waiting, and then finally he comes in the morning, he's all tired, and he says, oh, my leg is paining, I have been dancing whole night, so can I get some rest? And then he takes some rest. And then when she is cooking something to give him some prasad, then she comes to the prasad, she sees he's already gone. And then she goes out and calls somebody and says, where is my husband? Did you see him? Oh, he's hiding in the bank of Ganges. What is he doing? Oh, he's jumping as tall as 3 tall trees. And he's saying, hurry! And he's falling off from the roof. Then she said, oh, at least he can take some prasadam, can he go and bring? So they said, better than bringing him here, we will take the prasad there. It's very difficult to pull him when he is unconscious. He weighs just like an elephant. He can't pull him. These things are going on. And here and there, Vishnupriya is hearing. She was sitting there and she won't speak. So Nimai came in there. Nimai said, Vishnupriya, I was not very late today. You see, it's only midnight. And they are still doing kirtan. You know, when we were singing, Harihaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Na. But there was no sound. So Nimai came in front, and she came that way. When he came this way, she came this way. Nimai said, you are very upset with me? She said, no, I just have one question. You should answer me, and you shouldn't bluff. You shouldn't tell lies. Then he said, why should I tell lies? And to my wife, I will never tell lies. You please tell me. I am hearing you are having some prayer. Is this true? He said, yes. Tomorrow we are going to start the kirtan very early. And we'll go whole night. And we'll go through the day also. Because next day is Purnima. And then we will do 3 days continuous translation. These are my plans and my... So she said, no. You are having some future plans. So where did you hear it? Where did I not hear it? Everyone is talking about it. And every night I am having bad dreams. And every night I am having bad symptoms. I am seeing so many inauspicious signs. So please tell me, have you decided to make me a destitute? Because you have come only for destitute. So unless I am a destitute, you cannot give me mercy. So you want to make me a destitute and then give me mercy? Then he said, this is a little too much Sattva-jnana that you are talking about. I am not ready for such deep discussion now. But I can tell you one thing. Whatever you have heard, part of it is true and part of it is not. Then he said, the part that I want to become very merciful to everyone is true. But the part that I want to become cruel to you, that is not true. So then she said, but I am hearing, and she closed her own ears, that you are going to take sannyas. So then she said, yes, that is true, then I am going to take sannyas. And then she was out. He quickly brought some water pot, filled some water, woke her up, holding her. He said, Vishnupriya, hurry, Vishnupriya. And she woke up. So she said, is that true what I heard? So you are going to take sannyas? So then he said, yes, but I am not going to forget you. I am not going to leave you. I will always be with you. Whenever you think of me, I will be there. You are actually Vishnupriya. You should be very clear to Vishnu. He said, you are my Vishnu. You are my Krishna. You are everything to me. Now why you are telling this to me? If you go away, what will I do? How can I live? Who will take care of Mother Shakti? So then, Nimai said, just by remembering me, you will sustain your life. And just by following the instructions that I am giving you, to remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, and always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you will always have an association. And then, saying no more, he might just walk down of the house to go and fix the day. So, we'll stop there. It's too late. Most probably, we will try to complete it tomorrow. So then, one Sati Mata, she had a dream that Krishna and Balaram, they were in her house, and gold, Nimai, and Nitai, they were also there. And she was giving them some prasadam, all the four sitting there. Krishna, Nityananda, Balaram, and Nimai. And she was serving prasadam. And they were eating. And Nimai was fighting with Balaram to get more prasadam. And Nitai was fighting with Krishna to get more prasadam. And the argument developed into a physical fight. And then they started pushing each other and pulling their ornaments, because Krishna and Balaram were decorated with all beautiful ornaments. And Nimai started pulling the necklace of Balaram, and Balaram was holding the shikha of Nimai, and Nityananda was crashing on Krishna's back, and Krishna was pulling Nityananda's dhoti, and the whole rest there. And then she woke up, and then she saw that she had tears. In the dream she had seen, but then actually she had tears. And her whole body was trembling. So, though it was the late hour of the night, and Brahma Muhurta has not arrived, because of this dream, she became very much awake. Then she went to Ganga to take bath. And in that taking bath, when she was taking bath, she remembered those days when Vishnupriya Mataji, those days, little girl Vishnupriya, used to come there and touch her feet. And Sati Mata used to bless, Yogyo Pati Hope. You will get a very good husband. She was remembering that. She was also remembering how Nimai, when he came back from Gaya, though he was trying to control Nimai by putting Vishnupriya in front of him, in his ecstasy of defeating the demons and atheistic philosophers, he took the stick and started beating Vishnupriya. She remembered all that. She was in so much emotion. She came back home and it was sunrise. And Nimai just finished his morning duty and he was sitting there. And he has not yet taken off. Because every day he used to take off and just go, I will think of something, and then cry. So he has not taken off yet. So Sati Mata said, thank God, Nimai is still conscious. So she came to him with a plate of prasadam and a big smile on her face and tears. So Nimai said, Ma, why are you crying? Then Sati Mata said, why? If crying is only your birthright or what? I cannot cry. After giving birth to somebody like you, what else a mother can do except crying? So then Nimai said, I am very nice boy, what did I do? I don't do anything wrong. You told me to get married, I got married again. Everything you say I am doing, and still you are not satisfied, so what can I do? So then she said, Nimai, I had a dream last night. Oh, you had a dream in the night? Even in the day I had a dream. So So then she said, oh, Divine, don't bring your Vyakaran. This is not Vyakaran, ma. This is, in the day I dreamed. So then she said, don't you know that your uncle always said their dreams of no use. If you dream in the day, they are of no use. So then she said, whenever I come to talk to you, you always change the subject. Now today, you keep quiet. You are my son, and I'm going to tell you my dream. You might close this note. I was speaking. So then, Satyamata started describing the dream. And then when she was describing the dream, she was so absorbed in it. And then you were fighting with Balaram and Nitai with Krishna, and pulling your sticker, and she actually pulled his sticker. So then Nima slapped her. Yes, Satyamata was giving the clapping. She just woke up and she said, what? So he said, look at my sticker. And he said, this is what is happening to me all the time. You understand? And you are always thinking, my Nima is insane. But if you had a dream last night and you are pulling my sticker, so if I have a dream every second, then what will happen to me? This is my condition. And then he said, and that Krishna was fighting with me, and he was pulling my sticker, Krishna! And he fell unconscious. And Satyamata said, oh, again, here he goes. So in this way, various ways, Sri Chaitanya gave indication that time is up. Various ways he was explaining why I am going insane like this. And he has told his close friends like Mukunda and Sanjay and Nityananda, also his elders like Srivat, that I am going to take sannyas and leave Navadvip. And when they heard that, they couldn't tolerate it. Srivat, no, it cannot happen. No, you cannot leave Navadvip. Then Srivat said, that is true. How can I leave Navadvip? Then Srivat said, but you are saying you are going. So, I am not going. I am not going. But you said you are going. Yes, I am going. And I am not going. I will always be dancing in Shiva Sangam. And Shiva said, you promise me? Yes. As soon as you sing, I will be there. But I have to go. Then Shiva said, that is his problem. You want to stay, you want to go. Because what can I do, Shiva? My mission of my life, I haven't even started it. And look at this world, it is all in darkness. And Shiva said, for so then you have put a sun there, he is illuminating it every day. And you are also given Srimad Bhagavatam and the other sun. So what do you need to go? You don't have to do anything. You just play the flute. You are God. Then Nima said, that may be true. But if I simply sit and playing my flute and enjoying, what about these souls who have forgotten? Then Srimad will say, oh, again the same thing. You don't have to do all this. If you send us, we will go out and do it. Advaita will do it. Nitai will do it. I will do it. Why do you have to leave Navadvip? Then you may say, because that I am a Grihastha, married twice. So who will hear these things from me? They are offending me. And by offending me, they are going to hell. So to save these people from hell, I have to take sannyas. So then Shiva laughed. Ivanta, I thought only I was insane. What happened to this elderly gentleman? He said, Thakur? Who Thakur? What happened to you? So why are you laughing like this? Then the man said, please tell me, why are you laughing? And Shiva said, how can God take sannyas? This is the biggest thing you are trying to do. Everything belongs to you. Sannyas is only taken by those people who want certain things, they don't want certain things. So they can give up these things and take those things. But you are the owner of everything that being. How can you take sannyas? And you might say, all this philosophy you keep, but I have to preach the Sankirtan movement, and I have to tell you, all my associates are there. I have to go, I have to tell everyone, hello. And he was again in ecstasy. So, this was going on in Shiva Sangan every day. And day by day, Mahaprabhu will come late to the house, and Vishnupriya would be standing there with two bowls. One bowl some flowers to offer at his feet, another bowl to catch the tears. And this bowl was not a bowl, it was a big pot. He filled them up with her tears, waiting for him. And of course our hero in Shiva Sangam, he is in great ecstasy discussing Harikatha whole day. He doesn't remember anything else. He is preparing for his big launching. Big launching he is going to do now. He is going to launch with the sannyas order. So, he is preparing, putting fire here and there, burning everyone's heart. And they are all in great agony. It was known to Chandrasekhara Acharya, and he stopped eating. He was simply counting the days. Now it is Dakshinayana. When Uttarayana comes, Nimai will leave. So he was simply counting the days, and by counting, always counting like this, he forgets to eat. And Mukunda and Sanjay, who were very happy, jolly friends, you know them before, how they were joking with Kashinath Pandit. They were such jolly students, and they were always like this with a black face. And Mukunda was holding Sanjay, and Sanjay had to hold Mukunda by waist. He couldn't stand. So they were all thinking, they were all visualizing this feeling of Navadvip without Nimai. There can be sun without sunlight. There can be Ganges without water. There can be lotus without smell. There can even be a soul without consciousness, but there cannot be a Navadvip without Nimai. This is their tendency. This is their attitude towards Nimai. Nimai and Navadvip are synonymous. So, but Nimai has made up his mind. And Keshav Bharati, who had a big beautiful ashrama on the other side of the river of Bhagirathi in Katwa. Those days the river flew this way. Most probably this was our water. So, on the other side of Jagannath Mistra's house, if you put a straight bamboo this way across the river, that side is the ashrama of Keshav Bharati. So Keshav Bharati Maharaj one day came for Riksha in Navadvip, and he came to Sakshi Mata's house. And then when he came, somehow or other, both these women, both Sakshi Mata and Vishnupriya, they felt something very odd about the whole thing. He was coming there, very serene look, wooden shoes, studded saddle, he got a piece of cloth and one khanta on his shoulder. And he's just walking there, big calm day. So then Sima is getting up and he's all in ecstasy and he's smiling, no more tears. He's going inside. He found out where the rice is. He found out where the dal is. He's taking that and he's bringing it in a plate and telling his mother, Sanyasi Maharaj has come. We are blessed today. He pleased him. He will give him Diksha. And he says, you are suffering. I can tell of Maharaj. Today, Sakshi Mata is looking at the daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law is looking at the mother-in-law. There, and Vishnupriya is drawing some lines on the floor with her toe. And Mother Sakshi is looking at that. And she's scratching her head like this. And they are looking at each other. And by Nayana Bhasha, by the language of their eyes, they were having some conversation. And Mother Sakshi was feeling that this is the danger. Vishnupriya thought, here comes my separation. He is the man. Otherwise, why is he mine? He's always saying that suddenly. So many sadhus are coming. So many sadhus are going. As soon as this man comes, so much his judgment. Why? So they looked at each other. And Mother Sakshi said, Whatever makes him happy, we will do. Come. They both came. And then as rice was falling into the pot of Keshabhadi was looking at Nimai. Nimai was like, just like a dry plant looking when the rain drops after the summer. And with that look, and Satyamata looked at both of their face, and then she looked at Vishnupriya and she said, this is it. So then Nimai, he said, Sadhu, we should go with him 7 steps to sing it, mother. That's what father used to say. So Satyamata told Vishnupriya, father said so many things, only this you remember. And he said, what a bad womb I had. I conceived so many left body. And then one ran away. And here he goes, his demise. He's feeling a chest, he went inside. The Vishnupriya said, no, he shouldn't cry like this. No, you only said, whatever makes Nimai happy, we should do that. And Nimai was walking with Keshabhadi. He was just inquiring that, just on the other side is your husband. He said, yes. And then he said, Nimai asked one more question. You say Dakshinayana, you don't give Sanya. Keshabhadi said, yes, that is the Smriti rule is that. And he said, but that only applies to those who are within the rules of Smriti. Then he looked at him and he said, you have a great mission. Don't forget. And then he gets out of that to go to the other side. He doesn't go by boat and all. He lives with night. Nimai was standing there. Yes, looking. A still Keshabhadi became a small point on the other side of Bhagirathi. Then he rolled on the floor, covering his body with dust. And he was thinking, when will that day come that I can go there and I can become a sannyasi and start preaching? And he came back that night. He didn't eat anything. He went to Shiva Sangam. And the whole night they had kirtan. In this kirtan, Mahaprabhu went into ecstatic mood so many times. They had to carry his body. It won't lay on the floor. It was bending like a bow. The head was here, the feet, that side. The body was bent like this. And sometimes it becomes flat, sometimes it becomes bent. So Shiva and Mukunda, they had to hold him all the time. And finally they brought this, like a sugar cane which came out of the juice machine. That was left over in the mind of Mahaprabhu. What happened after the kitchen? There was one more day, called the Uttarayana Punya Kala. So the Shastra time came. And that day morning, now this day is the last day of the night in Navadvip. Just imagine, what is the pain he might have in his heart? This is the day that he is going to leave. And he is remembering all his associates, all his friends. He is remembering every speck of dust in the bank of Bhagirathi. He knows them all, and he is in them all, and he is guiding them all. Because who is he? He is not just a Nimai, he is the Supreme Lord. And he was very thoughtful. So morning, as soon as he finished his morning duty, he immediately went to Shiva Sangam. Then he told Shiva that he should go for a Prabhat Devi. So then they all started, and most of them were crying, holding each other, embracing. And they were all telling to each other, look, he is going to go away from us. And this day the Prabhat Devi, as usual, started. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Bhari Borna Vadana spending your life uselessly. In the Srimad Bhagavatam we find that Sidraya Hriyate Naksham Devayena Chavavaya Divacharte Hayarajan Kudumba Varnenava. The whole night is uselessly spent in ignorant sleep or some sense enjoyment. And the daytime, what are you doing? Divasa Arte Haya, simply for Artha, some economic, some finance, some Tata business. The whole day you spend there. In doing what? How can I get some money so that I can make my living, eating, sleeping, marrying and descending? So this way we are spending our time. This was the instruction. Nimai was reminding those people, Jeev Jago, oh my dear living entity, wake up. Udila Aruna Purava Bhage. Now the sun has come up. And Vijayamani goes, the fresh wealth of the twice born, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was coming out. And wherever he went, he was telling everybody, please chant the name of Hari. And this was the last day. So the whole kirtan was such charged with the emotion of the expectation of separation from the mind. Then after the long kirtan they came back. As they arrived in Srila Thakur's house, some ladies, Mataji's came out and they sprinkled sandalwood. And all of them, they were coming back after a long walk. So then somebody was serving some drink. And as soon as he saw the color of the drink, which was slightly blue, immediately Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered Krishna. And there is no more drink. Everybody started dancing in ecstasy. And it kept on dancing till everyone felt no one had the strength to raise their feet anymore. And he was still dancing in ecstasy. This was his kirtan in Shiva Sangam. For that period, that was the last time he was going to do it in manifested form. Then he lifted up Shiva, embraced him, and he told him, this kirtan is Sanatana, which is eternal. And he gave a promise, holding his hand on the chest of Shiva. And he told in his ear that I would always be here performing kirtan. Because I was present here in one way, you only saw me doing kirtan at particular time, and other time you didn't see me performing kirtan. But from now onwards, you were always, all the time, day and night you will see me dancing here. I will never leave Shiva Sangam. And he embraced. Then Mahaprabhu came back very early that night, that evening. So, Vishnupriya was there. She was as usual, crying, but the pot is not full yet. And very demand. So Sachi quickly said, quickly, arrange for his prasadam. He must be very tired. So then he is walking back here. So then two friends of Chaitanya came there, left him in the house. They didn't say a word. They fell like rods, like this. And they couldn't get up at all. They only got up in the morning. They just fell there. They didn't know whether they were living or they were dead. They didn't know.